Hello, you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are we doing? It's Rusty from Porky's Corner. The biggest gob in sport. We say the things in here, and nobody dares say. Isn't that right, Puppy Parsons? Eh? What a strange-looking little man you are. I've never seen a human gerbil before. Pop, pop, bang. Right, here we go. Cougs, how are you doing? Eh? Born in Sri Lanka, made in Essex, eh? Pop, pop, poppity pop. Coogan, when are you going to crawl out Eddie Hill's our Saul? That's all I want to know. Right, here we go. I thought we'd finish the day. We're approaching 4 o'clock now. On a... What day is it today? Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday. I had such a good time yesterday on Bank Holiday Monday. I forgot what day it is. I need to wake up instead of having checks. Right, let's have a little roundup. So I've got a couple of corkers to come out in this video, and I'm going to bring them out near the end, but I might bring them out in the middle. But we're going to see. We're going to see. But first of all, big shout out to Gary from Welcome Estates. www.boxersinneed.com. Hey, go and have a look. See what you think. All right. Big shout out to Porky's International. That's our sister channel. We do other things on there besides boxing. Right. Here we go. Shout. August the 17th in Billy versus Derichenko. I can't even pronounce his name. In Quebec. Who cares? I mean, I'm hearing that Billy is a Jew said. Allegedly. So it is what it is, isn't it? Then we've got Erd versus Rossano in Florida. Who cares? They don't care about Yanks. That's August 21st. September 3rd, we've got I Know You against Dihini or whatever. Dihini. I can't pronounce anything longer than 6 letters, can I mean? That's for junior featherweight undisputed. Now I'll be watching that because I'm a big fan of I Know You. Well, that's what I call him anyway, but I don't personally know him. I think he's a top 5. I think he's a top 5 pound for pound superstar. That's the Japanese kid that's running through everybody. Punches like a mule. Unlike you, Big John Fury, big feather duster man. September the 14th, we've got Alvarez against Bellinger. Unified 168. Belt, 3 belts, WBC, WBA, WBO. That's in Vegas. What do I think to that? Well, in my opinion, Alvarez is a bit of a shithouse, really, isn't it? Because he's been swearing David Benavidez now for a few years, hasn't he? And he doesn't really want to test himself, does he, Alvarez? He wants everything his own way. This is the gentleman, you know, the ginger that he is. He was dragging all middleweights down to 155, wasn't he? 1 pound above light middle. You know, when he was basically a light middle, wasn't he? Dragging middleweights down, you know, so he had advantage. So never really been an Alvarez fan. I didn't like that. I think he should have quite a few losses on his record. When Mayweather smashed him to pieces and just took him to college, university, school, whatever you want to call it, I was loving it. I was one of them people out of my face watching that fight. I must have watched it 20 times, that fight, and I loved it. My mate Dripping Tap loved that fight as well. Because we don't like people like Alvarez that are dictating, and he's been dictating too long on the Alvarez, because he's basically the biggest star in the sport, in boxing in the world. I mean, Eddie Hills, you know, that liar from Essex, he'll tell you that it's Anthony Joshua, but when was the last time Anthony Joshua had a belt? We're getting him for 4 years, aren't we now? 3 or 4 years. The man's been in the wilderness donkeys, so I don't know, but I've got no time for Alvarez. That's September the 14th in Vegas. September the 20th, 6 days later, we've got Munguia against Bazinha in Arizona. I don't care for that fight either, so who cares? September the 21st, Daniel Dubois against Anthony Joshua. 2 big stiffs going at it at Wembley for Usyk's leftovers. So basically, we've got 2 guys here that have been knocked about by Usyk, and they're fighting for a belt. The Usyk gladly dropped him bin, you know, like Riddick Bowe. So what do I think to that? Well, like I've said, pair of them are still two big stiffs. Literally. And if you don't believe me, the next girlfriend's walking around like John Wayne. So, like I said, two big stiffs. Then we've got October the 12th. Beterbiev against Bill for the undisputed at 175. Now that is a proper fight, isn't it? Two undefeateds going at it. Proper men, they don't shout and ball. Them boys are just going to get at it. That's a mark time fight, that, you know. That is a mark time fight, Batavia and Bivol. So that's a great fight. A bit like watching I Know You, innit? When these pound for pound guys like Batavia and Bivol and I Know You turn up, everybody wants to watch it, don't they? You know what I mean? Everybody. Then we've got October 26th, Jack Catterall against Prograde. I've heard that's off. So, Sam Jones, what you running around saying it's on for when it's off? Stop waffling. Why don't you tell the truth? Eddie's probably turned around to you, allegedly, and said, look, that ain't going to happen just yet, but, you know, keep them in mix. So they're just going to use you as front man because you like getting in front of the camera, don't you, Sam? You're basically a PR guy for Eddie Hills. Save them doing all interviews. Really get a cut out of Fighter's purse. That's what this is, Sam. Stop going on about bone density, though, Sam. You embarrassed yourself with that Juggernaut Joe nonsense, didn't you? Joe Joyce's bone density is only being tested at the hospital. He's 6 times stronger than average man. Sam, why would you come out with something like that? Which hospital tested him? And show me test results, because you're talking absolute waffle. I've spoke to people at the Claremont in Brew Mill at Sheffield. I've had various operations there myself, Sam, and they went, bone density is 6 times stronger than average man's. What a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. It'd be like the Bionic Man. Oh my God, bone density. Is this where we're at, Sam Jones, with your waffle? Absolute waffle. Hey, and then we've got Usyk and Fury rematch. It's not for undisputed, it's for unified because IBF's been handed out to Big Meat and Triple Knee. Hey, that's December 21st in Saudi. Does that happen? Well, they've given Fury, what, 7-8 months to prepare, but he had that to prepare for first fight, didn't he? And we all know what happened there, don't we? Pop, pop, bang. So it is what it is. 12th of October in Saudi. The Bob father, Bob Arum, Eddie Hills, a.k.a. Eddie Hearn, Adrian Mole, a.k.a. Ben Shalom, Bricktop, a.k.a. Frank Warren. They're all working together and swapping spit in the shower. Why is that? Why is that? I'm going to tell you why, shall I, boys and girls? I'm going to tell you. You know why, don't you? Because they're all getting paid. They all want to swap spit in the shower, don't they? And have a little roll around in the hay when they're getting paid, don't they? Can you imagine that? It's like going to bed with a crocodile, isn't it, for money? Unbelievable. Could you imagine these people if you were co-accused at Crown Court and they're all your co-accused? They'd all be docked, wouldn't they, putting you in, turning Queen's evidence on you, wouldn't they? To save their own necks. That's what they'd be doing. I have plenty of chats with people who've been in jail who I know work in boxing industry, trainers, managers, ex-fighters. These people would put you in your back as look at you. That's what this is. That's what boxing promoters do. Look at them all. All of a sudden, they're French kissing in the USA. Or is it Saudi? So it is what it is. But we have got a good fight on, haven't we? October 12th. Ben Whittaker, this big superstar, Olympian, he's going to fight the Cannonball, right? From up near Darnell, Liam Cameron. I hope Liam smashes him to bits because I can't stand Ben Whittaker. If there's one person I don't like in boxing, it's Ben Whittaker. So Liam, bump, bump, bump. My old mucker who I used to go drinking with, what's that pub called? Moon, is it? Up your way. My old mucker, Liam Cameron. Hey? My pal who likes to go out with Porky. Have a good night though, aren't I, Liam? So I hope Liam Cameron smashes Ben Whittaker to in pieces. And you know what? Liam's a tough chin. And he surprised me in that fight against Lyndon Arthur, but Lyndon Arthur would get beat one against Ben Whittaker. But if Ben does Liam, they're saying it's going to be Lyndon Arthur, aren't they, against Ben Whittaker? So it is what it is, isn't it? So I hope Liam smashes him up. And I hope he gets paid as well, because he's had a rough ride, Liam. Even though he fell out with Big Ron, I hope he does well, Liam, because I like him and his family. Sky Nicholson against Raven Chapman. Who cares? Eddie giving a belt because it's Eddie's little bit of fluff. Shaka Stevenson, Eddie's new signing. Oh my God, only because Bob Arum didn't want him. Against Joe Cordina, the feeding Joe Cordina to Shaka Stevenson. I expect Shaka to stand him on his head and take him out anytime he wants. All right. Then we've got Christopher Eubank Jr., the man that doesn't want to fight anybody with a heartbeat. Ranked number 2 on BoxRec, the second best middleweight in the world. He's not even a world champion. He's fighting Camille Serivimata. Whatever he is, the guy is a dosser. And he's been spoon-fed him, aren't you, Christopher Eubank Jr.? He's been spoon-fed yet again. But why? Because he's been inactive a year and that he needs a warm-up fight. Warm-up fight. Why does Chris Eubank Jr. need a warm-up fight? Why? Can somebody tell me that? Please. I want to know. I want to know how he needs a warm-up fight, eh? Whatever happened to good sparring at gym and keeping yourself fit? Eh? They want these paydays, these 200-300 grand paydays, don't they? That's all they want, these people. They want paydays against people that they know they can beat. I mean, how many times do we see fight cards announced and we all know who's going to win? The higher you go up the card, you know, the closer you get to the main event and, you know, the supporting event, that's when they usually get a little bit tight at fights. But come on, every week I'm picking 8 out of 9 or 8 out of 8 or 7 out of 8 or 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. Every single week. It's very, very easily. I always get screwed when I put a bet on though and accumulate a bit. When are we going to see fights that are even, eh? Eubank against this dosser here. Unbelievable. Then we've got Fabio Wardley against It's Big Freeze. And I'm going to go for It's Big Freeze because I thought he got robbed in the first fight. It's Big Freeze. I thought Big Freeze got robbed. So I'm Team Fraser. I hope Fraser puts him on Button Moon. That's what we want, bit of Button Moon. Then we've got Jay Opitia against Jack Massey at Cruiserweight World Title. I think that's a great fight. I'm Team Jack Massey because I like him and I like his trainer, Joe Gallagher. But he's up against the guy that everybody's saying is top 10, top 15, pound for pound. So when Jack Massey does him, Opitia, Jack Massey's got to be pound for pound, hasn't he? Well, why not? We need to push for Jack Massey to be pound for pound if he does him, because people are saying Opitia is, and Jack could be a 2-time world champion, so why not? It'd be another belt for Joe G. Won't it, to put with all them, whatever he's got loads of belts, Joe, and he's got more belts than Asda. Then we've got Viterbi and Bibble. That's a good fight coming up. It is what it is. So, okie dokie. Let's have a little look what else has been happening. We know about Eddie Hills, don't we, signing Shaka Stevenson. What do I think to that? Eddie would do out, wouldn't he, really, to get one over on the Bob Farber. So, but the Tank Davis fight's dead in water with Shaka in it. They're not going to go near him, are they? But it looks to me like PBC don't really want to work with Saudi lot and Oscar De La Hoya. They're not as forthcoming, the Americans, are they, as the Brits? I mean, we're they with begging balls, aren't we? Ben Shalom, Adrian Mole, Eddie Hills, Eddie Hearn, Bricktop, Frank Warren. They're all there like Oliver Twist, aren't they? Please, sir, more. You know what I mean? And then we've got, what's his name, haven't we? Oh, Sam Jones. He's always there or thereabouts, aren't you, Sam? 8 and 9, 10 interviews a day. I see more of you on TV than I do Eddie Hills. That's because they're using you as the lackey now. Sam put this out, Sam put that out. Do you know what I mean? But Sam's running around saying Johnny Fisher's going to fight. So on September 28th. Whether he does or not, we're going to see, aren't we? But let's have a little look if anything's lined up. Let's have a little look. Johnny Fisher. Box rate. Nothing lined up, so we're now what? And we're now a month away from that fight, aren't we? Right? What is it? 27th today, so we're 32 days away. And notes on box rec for Radenko against Johnny Fisher. So nothing's set in stone, is it? Right? Nothing is set in stone. But could it be Chisora? Could he be next for Johnny Fisher? They're not going to put him near Del Boy, are they? Hey, no, can't even talk properly, Del Boy. I don't think Jack Catterall's going to fight Pro Grey. Sam, you're running around saying it's happening, it's this, it's that. Nah, it's not happening, Sam. Stop it. Stop putting things out for other people that's not true. You're just making yourself look daft. A bit like that load of shite that you put out about Joe Joyce's bone density. Oh my God. Oh my God. But what can you do? It is what it is. But it looks like Calla, Eddie, Frank, and Bopper Ben Shalom. Oh, Calla ain't mixed with bins on. Did you see him? Hanging out the back of Eubank. Oh my God, what a brass you are, Calla. Is that what it's took for you to get it mixed? Hanging out at the back of Eubank. He couldn't stand you 3 months ago. Now look here, swapping, spitting back. Hey, it's unreal what's going on, isn't it? Absolutely unreal. Bit like John Gotti III fighting a rematch against Floyd Mayweather in an empty arena with 400 people there. What's all that about? Floyd Mayweather milking it, eh? Absolutely milking it. But what can you do? What can you do? What do we think to Liam Smith against Kelly? Is that a good fight for European? I think it's a good fight, that. I think Tyler Denny against Shiraz for European. I think that's a good fight. Kakazi Warrington's a good fight for IBF and IBO. Boatsi and Hutchinson, 18-0 and 18-1 for WBO interim. That'll be down to Bricktop, that one. It's splitting undisputed up for, well, they're not split it up yet, but when Bivol and Batavian have fought for undisputed, you'd have thought the WBO belt will be going for a Burton, won't it, really? So if Hutchinson and Boatsi, whoever wins that, they'll be upgraded then to world champion. I don't believe in all that upgraded nonsense. I don't even believe in vacant belts, but it's not what you can do when people retire or move up a weight or move down a weight or get injured or whatever, is there? So, but Willie Hutchinson's come from nowhere for that fight, hasn't he, really? Boatsi's been holding on for over 8 years, hasn't he? I mean, it's over 8 years since Boatsi were in Olympics, over 8 years, and yet he's still not fought for a world title. I mean, what's happening with his career? I don't know, and I don't care. Chamberlain against Pagley, 16-0 against 14-0. That's a very good fight. Absolute great fight. But nothing surprises me. It's the wild, wild west. So, we've got Flex. Flex. Anybody see Flex's interview on that Coppers channel? Somebody sent me over there. I had a quick look at it. Flex. Talks well, Flex, doesn't he? But Flex, the reason you're not really training many fighters, in my opinion, from the Ingle gym. You know, the Ingle style. The Ingle style. Does anybody know what fucking Ingle style is? Bomber Graham brought that style to that gym, and it was from Nottingham, the Bomber Graham style. It wasn't the Ingle style. Glyn Rhodes spoke about that on my channel 5 years ago. The Ingle style. The Ingle style. What is the Ingle style? Well, Kell Brook, the Ingle style. Kell Brook went out like Bomber Graham. You might have got Ryan Rhodes because he could fight all styles, but apart from Ryan and Bomber and maybe Johnny Horsecock, I didn't really see anybody else with this Ingle style. Do you know what I mean? So what is the Ingle style? Does anybody really know? Or is that something in your head, Dominic? Because you're not training anybody at the moment. Why is that? Well, when you've had 3 fighters pop, 3 fighters have popped on your watchdog. I don't see anybody queuing up to get back with you. So where are all your fighters, Dom? Hey, you mind running around with these diet sheets and whipping accountants and solicitors into shame? I can do that in this factory because I'm fit as a butcher's dog. But I don't really know what's happening with Flex. So going on about Usyk and blah, blah, listen. Tyson Fury had 7-8 months to get ready for Usyk in that fight, didn't he? 7-8 months. If you're not going to be ready then, with all that team around. Didn't he have the dream team around him? Sugar Hill, Big John Fury, Big Feather Duster Man, and what other guy? Andy Lee. Hey, what happened to the dream team? They had the dream team 7-8 months around Fury, and they still couldn't get it right. They were way off the pace. Look, Usyk makes you do things in that ring that you don't want to do. It made him work. It was a food and drink to Usyk. Food and drink. But what can you do? What can you do? But why don't you start, Dominic, and give Usyk a little bit of respect? And I was a little bit disappointed to hear you slagging Tony the Bell End off, even though he's a human bell end. I was a bit disappointed to hear you slagging him off, Dominic, eh? Just because he stuck it to you about Billy Joe and how Billy Joe failed that dope test. And you know what happened behind the scenes, don't you, Dominic? You know what happened there, mate, don't you? And you know what happened with you and Billy Joe, don't you? So why don't you come out and tell the proper story about that? Or do we have to wait for Billy Joe to come out and tell us about that? Because I know the real story about that one, Dominic. And you know as well, don't you? That's why nobody wants to work with you now, because what happens if you're in that gym and you drink something and then you pop and you're like, what have I done? Nobody knows what's going on up there, do they? It's craziness, isn't it? But Dominic, why don't you flex? Why don't you give Usyk a bit of respect? 350 fights as an amateur, 335 wins, 15 losses, rematched 11. European, world, and Olympic gold. Turns pro, undisputed in cruiserweight, undisputed at heavyweight, 22-0, 14 knockouts on the road. How's about that? We hope judges and promoters against him. Why don't we just start and give Usyk just a little bit of respect? Why don't you do that, Dominic? You can't do that because you're too busy hanging out the back of Tyson's arsehole. And you know why? And I've heard back today. You know why, don't you? Because you would love to train Tyson Fury if he'd been to Sugar Hill, wouldn't you, Dominic? You'd love to get a little bit of that percentage, wouldn't you? Why don't you come out and admit that, Dominic? That's why you're hanging out the back of Tyson Fury, who, to be honest with you, is shot to pieces. Fat as a pig Michelin man. My opinion. So stop going on about it. He's finished. He's washed up. Washed up. Tyson Fury's washed up. We've just seen his last performance. He won't even fight Usyk at end of year. You watch what happens. You watch what happens. So that's about it, really. Thanks for liking and subscribing. And leaving a comment. If anybody's got a bad opinion of me, I'm just going to say this for what I've said in this video. So, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Nobody's going to do jack in boxing. Just chatters. Big chatters. That's all they are. Big dossers. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. It's me done. I'm going to play pool now for an hour. And I'm going to get something to eat. Nice chicken stew with a jacket 20. Go on, peace out. Booyaka. Max, give me a ring, you fat